Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Will Howard has tremendous opportunity with Steelers, Jeremiah believes, team I would have chosen for him. If he isn't happy about falling to the 6th round, QB Will Howard sure is happy the Steelers drafted him. That is the opinion of NFL draft expert Daniel Jeremiah, who picked Howard and Cam Ward as the quarterbacks happiest with their draft lot. Some thought the Ohio State slinger had a chance of going much earlier, and he admitted that the wait hurt. But you could see the thrill on his face when the Steelers called him up and gave him the news. That's a good opportunity for him, Jeremiah told Rich Eisen of Will Howard landing with the Steelers. He referenced the current quarterback situation with Mason Rudolph at the top and Aaron Rodgers lurking, acknowledging both are temporary. I don't think you would say either one of those is going to be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers 2-3 years from now. So there's tremendous opportunity for him. Howard transferred to Ohio State in 2024 after playing 3 seasons for Kansas State. In his final college football season, he passed for 4,010 yards with 35 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. Notable was his staggering 73% completion percentage, which was a huge jump in his career. But the Steelers love players who step up in big moments, and his playoff run put the exclamation point on his evaluation. During Ohio State's 4-game playoff run, Will Howard went 82-for-109 for 1,150 yards. He threw 8 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, completing 75.2% of his passes. His best games came in the Rose Bowl and the national title game in wins over Oregon and Notre Dame. As of now, Howard is one of 3 quarterbacks the Steelers have under contract alongside Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. He played with Thompson while at Kansas State, so there is some familiarity there. The entire quarterback room is new to Arthur Smith's system, so there is an equal playing field there. In Pittsburgh, though, he should have the opportunity to sit back, absorb, and learn to begin his career. It's kind of hometown team, Jeremiah pointed out of Will Howard going to the Steelers, having grown up in Chester County. I know he's probably disappointed he didn't go much higher than that, but that would have been the team I would have chosen for him in terms of where he fit best. While some might argue that the Steelers should start Will Howard over Mason Rudolph if Aaron Rodgers doesn't sign, that's not how Pittsburgh typically operates. And if they thought Howard would be ready to start this season, they wouldn't have waited until the 6th round. But by the way the team spoke about him, he is someone they feel they can develop. Of course, the Steelers are probably looking to take a big swing on a quarterback in 2026. If that is the path they choose, then Will Howard is in no man's land. The odds of him showing so much in 2025 that they would be swayed from doing so next year are exceedingly low. That's why they pursued Aaron Rodgers in the first place. But if it's true that talent wins out, and that Howard has that talent, you never know what might happen. Ex-Bills WR signs with AFC rival for 13th NFL season. Former Buffalo Bills wide receiver Robert Woods will be playing for an AFC rival next year. The 33-year-old signed a 1-year contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers, ESPN's Brooke Pryor reported on April 28. Woods started his career with the Bills in 2013 and has made stops with 3 other teams. He will now join a Steelers team that overhauled its offense this offseason, with no clear direction at quarterback. Woods spent the first 4 years of his career with the Bills, making 203 catches for 2,451 yards with 12 touchdowns in 57 total games. He later joined the Los Angeles Rams, putting together back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons and winning a Super Bowl. Woods now joins a Steelers team that infused some talent into their wide receiver room this offseason, trading for DK Metcalf to go along with George Pickens. As Pryor noted, Woods can add a different skill set to the offense. At 6 foot, 193 pounds, Woods gives the Steelers a different receiver type who slots between the larger and physical Metcalf and Pickens and the speedy, smaller receivers such as Calvin, Austin and Roman Wilson, Pryor reported. The Steelers are still waiting for clarity at quarterback, moving on from veterans Russell Wilson and Justin Fields after last season. The Steelers have met with veteran Aaron Rodgers, but he has yet to make a decision on what he will do next season. Woods has 683 total receptions for 8,233 yards and 38 touchdowns in his career. The Bills have made some changes in their own wide receiving core this offseason, allowing veteran Mac Hollins to leave in free agency and not re-signing trade deadline acquisition Amari Cooper. The Bills also added a pair of pass catchers in the NFL draft, taking Georgia Tech tight end Jackson Hawes in the 5th round and wide receiver Caden Prather in the 7th. Prather, who stands 6'5" with a time of 4.46 seconds in the 40-yard dash, brings a combination of size and speed that the team's wide receiving core currently lacks. NFL.com expert Lance Zierlein wrote that he is a strong route runner who can stretch the field for the Bills. Outside receiver with size and speed to create advantages downfield, Zierlein wrote. Prather is not explosive, though he builds and carries speed to create deep windows, and needs to do a better job of finishing routes and catches. He's too leggy and tight-hipped to beat man coverage over the first 2 levels, and he's not a natural pass catcher in traffic. But Zierlein added that Prather may need to find another route to an NFL roster, starting by contributing on special teams. Prather is a niche option as a field stretcher with good height, weight and speed, but he might need to prove he can play special teams to give himself a legitimate roster shot, he wrote. The Bills have looked into other options at wide receiver, hosting restricted free agent Elijah Moore for a visit after the draft concluded. Moore has been a steady receiver over 4 seasons with the New York Jets and Cleveland Browns, topping 445 yards in every season. Steelers predicted to trade for $66 million QB over Aaron Rodgers. The 2025 NFL Draft has come and gone, and while the Pittsburgh Steelers did select Ohio State's Will Howard in the 6th round, there is still no clear starter on the roster. The Steelers have reportedly been waiting on Aaron Rodgers to make a decision regarding his future, but if the future Hall of Famer decides that Pittsburgh isn't for him, the Steelers will be forced to pivot. Bleacher Report's Talon Hadley believes Steelers general manager Omar Khan and head coach Mike Tomlin could turn their attention towards another veteran, Atlanta Falcons quarterback Kirk Cousins. As the Pittsburgh Steelers passed on the opportunity to draft a quarterback early in the 2025 draft, they opted for Ohio State's Will Howard in the 6th round, recognizing the need for a fallback if negotiations with veteran Aaron Rodgers fall through, Hadley wrote. Meanwhile, it's clear that Cousins wants to move on from the Falcons and would bring a similar veteran presence to what Rodgers would, without the Super Bowl ring, if he were not to sign, Hadley added. Cousins has expressed displeasure with his situation in Atlanta, and could very well be on the move via trade or be cut and signed by the Steelers. NFL Network Steve Wyche reported on April 1 that Cousins' desire to be a starter outweighs any other factor. Falcons coach Raheem Morris said backup QB Kirk Cousins has made him and others aware he would like to be a starter, leading to the thought that Cousins would be very willing to waive his no-trade clause. Morris said they have not reached a point where those discussions have materialized with Cousins. Morris also added that he would not be surprised if Cousins stayed away from voluntary off-season workouts. Wyche reported on X, Cousins started 14 games for the Falcons last season, throwing for 3,508 yards and 18 touchdowns, but he led the NFL with 16 interceptions, a career high for the 13-year veteran. Cousins matched his career completion rate in 2024, with a 66.9% mark. Cousins has made 4 Pro Bowl appearances in his career, and led the NFL in fourth-quarter comebacks and game-winning drives just 2 seasons ago. And you fan? What do you think about Kirk Cousins' situation? Write to us in the comments.